Hello everyone, my name is Lisa and I recently turned 17. This is the story of how my evil dad, Aaron, and my stepmother, Kelly, almost ruined my life. But my grandpa, Jeremy, stood by me and helped me find happiness again. These events happened over several years, but things came to a head recently. I'm still recovering from the abuse I faced from my stepmother, Kelly. However, I'm doing much better now and wanted to share my story. When my mom was alive, life was pretty normal. She was the sweetest and most caring person you could ever meet. She and my dad were high school sweethearts and married young. They had me in their 20s, and we were a happy family until she passed away from cancer when I was 12. I watched her die before my very eyes, and I couldn't help her. For the longest time, I blamed myself for not being able to save her. My dad never helped me with the grief. In fact, he didn't grieve at all. I found out he was already cheating on my mom with Kelly before she died. After my mom passed away, my dad married Kelly within 6 months. Kelly hated me with a passion. She verbally abused me and was mean to me all the time. She often said, "You should have died with your mother, Lisa. God knows why I had the misfortune to be stuck with you. You're just a spoiled brat, and I hope I can get rid of you soon." "How can you say that to me, Kelly? I have a right to be here. This is my dad's place. He will never kick me out," I would respond. "You can be very stupid sometimes, Lisa. I can control your dad very well. One word from me and you'll be out," she would retort. I thought my dad would never listen to her, but I was wrong. One day, I came home from school to find my dad waiting with my bags packed. "Dad, why are my bags packed? Are we going somewhere?" I asked. "Yes, I'm taking you to your grandpa's house. You can't live with us anymore," he replied. "Why, Dad? What did I do? Why are you doing this?" "Kelly doesn't want you to stay. You've been bothering her, and she hates children anyway. I need to keep her happy, so you need to leave." I kept begging and pleading with my dad not to kick me out, but he never listened. Kelly stood at the door, smirking and occasionally laughing at me. My dad took me to Grandpa Jeremy's house and dropped me off. I was close to my grandpa, so living with him wasn't too bad, but I wanted and needed my dad. I couldn't lose both my parents within a year. Grandpa took me in and let me stay with him. He had many fights with my dad because he couldn't accept my dad abandoning me. Eventually, my dad stopped visiting entirely. I went to his house to beg him to take me back. "Dad, please don't abandon me. I cannot live without you. I need you," I pleaded. "My wife needs me more than you do. We're very happy without you now. I cannot ruin my life with you. I want to forget I had a life without Kelly," he said. "Lisa, you shouldn't pressure your father into keeping in touch. Can't you understand he has a new family now? He doesn't want you. You should leave, Lisa. You're not welcome here anymore," Kelly added. I cried and cried, but Dad was firm. He wouldn't take me back. This went on for years. Grandpa even took him to court for child support, but Dad still didn't relent. After a few years, Dad terminated his parental rights. He came to Grandpa's house and said, "Lisa, I'm going to terminate my rights to you. From now on, your grandpa is your legal guardian. I hope you will stop bothering us now." "Dad, please don't do this. How can you abandon me like this?" I pleaded. "Stop complaining, Lisa. Grandpa is rich, and he will give you a good life. I can't have my money going towards you. Kelly needs me more." "My decision is final," Dad replied coldly. Grandpa was furious. "You are a horrible father, Aaron. I can't believe you abandoned your girl. Don't worry, I will allow you to terminate your rights. She deserves someone who loves her, not a father who dances at his wife's commands." When I understood that my dad didn't want me, I finally gave up. I was much happier with Grandpa anyway. I soon realized that my dad didn't love me, so I stopped trying and swore to stay away. I didn't want someone who didn't want me, but I remembered what he and Kelly did to me. I was never going to forgive them. After my dad terminated his rights, I stopped contacting them. Grandpa put me in therapy so I could cope with my issues. Slowly, I was recovering, but I always held resentment. I knew I wanted revenge. The perfect chance came when Kelly showed up one day. She came to Grandpa's house when he wasn't supposed to be home. She walked straight up to my room and said, "Hey, Lisa. I came to drop off some of your things. They were in the attic. Now that you are not Aaron's child anymore, I don't want to keep any memories of you. Thanks for bringing them to me, Kelly. I hope you and Dad have a good life now. You finally have what you always wished for." "I won't bother you anymore," I replied. "Oh, I'm pretty happy already, Lisa. I also hope you forget your inheritance. I don't want you to have any expectations. Aaron won't give you anything, and I won't let him give you anything either, Kelly sneered. What inheritance are you talking about, Kelly? I'm very confused. Dad doesn't have anything of significance, I said. Well, your dad doesn't have anything, but your grandpa does. He'll be giving Aaron all his assets when he passes. It won't be long now. You know your grandpa Jeremy is old. Once he dies, you will be evicted from this house as well, Kelly declared smugly. And who the hell told you that, Kelly? I asked. Your dad, of course. He is the one and only heir of Jeremy's assets. You're just a girl, so you won't be getting anything. Besides, I doubt you will even be of age when Jeremy dies. We might let you stay here till you are 18. But after that, you will be kicked out, she spat. I heard her words and simply laughed. Her expectations from Grandpa were hilarious. She had no idea that Grandpa Jeremy hated her. Just because he was civil to her didn't mean he approved of her schemes. I knew that if Grandpa heard Kelly's words, he would be enraged, so I had planned to get my revenge on Kelly and Dad. Grandpa was quite present in the house and had been listening to our conversation. When Kelly finally stopped talking about her dream inheritance, he stepped into the room. What is going on over here, Kelly? I think I told you not to bother my granddaughter in my house, Grandpa said sternly. She was telling me how I am a spoiled child and should be punished for it. She was also telling me how I shouldn't expect any inheritance and that she would kick me out of this house once it's theirs, I explained. Grandpa glared at Kelly. I have also warned you not to talk crap to Lisa. And why on earth do you think you will get the house, Kelly? Who gave you the impression that I will leave you anything? Maybe you won't give me anything, but you will give your assets to Aaron, right? He is your one and only son, Kelly replied, clearly confused. Grandpa Jeremy laughed at that very comment. Even he could see how clueless Kelly was. Both Grandpa and I started laughing hysterically. Kelly looked annoyed and confused. Why are you two laughing at me? I didn't say anything wrong. Aaron is Jeremy's son and should get everything, including this house. Grandpa sighed. You have some wild expectations, Kelly. I knew you married my son for his money. I also know Aaron tricked you into thinking he will ultimately own all of my assets. He wasn't wrong then, but he is now. What do you mean? Nothing has changed. He will still get all your assets as his inheritance, Kelly insisted. Here's some news for you, Kelly. Aaron won't be getting any of my assets. He has shown exactly how much of a worthless idiot he is. I won't leave him anything of value. I have someone else in mind for that. No, that can't be true. You are bluffing. There is no way you will give your inheritance to someone else. You will give your assets to your own blood, Kelly said, growing more agitated. I do have several options, Kelly, and I have already decided who will get all of my assets. So it's time for you to stop dreaming and start working, because once I am gone, you will be the one who becomes homeless. You can't do that to us. Nothing is set in stone. Just wait until Aaron hears about this. This is not the end of our discussion. Kelly fumed as she stormed out of Grandpa's house. Grandpa sighed and looked at me. We both knew that another confrontation was inevitable. Kelly would tell Dad about our conversation, and both of them would come back to demand their share of the inheritance. Grandpa Jeremy was prepared. He wasn't anxious about the confrontation. Instead, he looked serious and ready. I was just waiting for my revenge. As we predicted, Kelly and Dad showed up at the house in the evening. Dad had to leave work early and drive to Grandpa's house, clearly showing how important the inheritance was to them. Kelly smirked at me and patted Dad on the back. Grandpa Jeremy just silently waited for them to speak. Dad, looking furious, began. What the hell am I hearing, Dad? You told Kelly that you won't leave me anything. That's right, you won't be getting anything of value. In fact, I doubt it will even qualify as an inheritance. You can't do that to me. I am your son, your one and only heir. I deserve all your assets. How can you say you won't leave me anything? I won't leave you anything because you have turned out to be a vile and selfish person. My only solace is that I got to see your true nature before planning my will, Grandpa replied. How can you talk to your son like that, Jeremy? You are a father. Have you ever considered your son's feelings? Kelly interjected. Has Aaron ever considered Lisa's feelings? Why should I show fatherly love to someone who doesn't even look after his own daughter? That is a separate issue, Dad. It has nothing to do with my inheritance. I don't even understand why Lisa is here in this discussion. She does not need to be here. Grandpa told me to be here, Dad. I have no interest in inheritance discussions. I have no expectations from anyone about anything. Lisa has every reason to be here, Aaron. She might not be your daughter anymore, but she is still my granddaughter. Lisa is here because she is the one who will inherit all my assets." Everyone was stunned by Grandpa's words. I was shocked but stayed silent. However, Dad and Kelly blew up at Grandpa. "You can't be serious, Jeremy. Lisa is just a child, and she is a girl. She has no right to inherit all your assets. Your son should get everything," Kelly insisted. "Dad, how can you do this to me? What has Lisa done that I haven't? You are choosing Lisa over your son," Dad shouted. "Yes, Aaron, I'm choosing Lisa over my son, just like you chose a gold digger over your daughter. Look at the way you mention Lisa. Have you forgotten that she is your blood? I chose Kelly because I love her. Lisa is only a part of my past. I don't even want to think of her as my daughter. You have no right to choose her over me. Hell, I don't even consider her my daughter anymore," Dad replied coldly. "That's exactly why you won't get anything, Aaron. It shames me to think that I raised such an entitled and selfish man like you. I'm not even dead, and your wife is already talking about kicking your daughter out of the house. You should be ashamed of yourself. You have some nerve coming here and demanding any inheritance. You can give Lisa everything, but I won't let it happen. I will get a lawyer," Dad threatened. Grandpa Jeremy looked even more resolute. He'd immediately took out some documents and showed them to Dad and Kelly. "I have prepared everything, Aaron. All my assets will go to Lisa. You will only get a small amount of money, so you can't contest the will. There is no use trying." "What is this, Dad? You already made a will? You have to be kidding me. You can't do this. What about our house? Will you give that to Lisa too?" Dad was desperate. "Yes, I will. It's my property, and I will decide who gets it. Since I'm feeling generous today, I'll give you a condition. There is only one way I will leave you the house you stay in now." "What do I have to do? Tell me now." "I'll do anything," Dad pleaded. "If Lisa forgives you for your actions, I might leave you something. But first, you and Kelly have to apologize to her and beg for her forgiveness." "You can't be serious. We're not doing that to Aaron." "I'm not apologizing or begging," Kelly protested. "Lisa, do something." Kelly looked panicked, while my dad stayed silent. It was clear they were struggling to apologize to me. I had enough. I never expected or needed their apology. For a very long time, I knew my relationship with them was over. I had no interest in rekindling anything or forgiving anyone. Finally, I spoke. "Grandpa, there's no need to ask them to apologize. I know they are having trouble doing it. Frankly, I don't want their apology. I will never forgive them. So there is no use." "Okay then. If Lisa doesn't want to forgive you, there is no other way. Looks like my will won't be changing after all," Grandpa said firmly. No, wait. We want to apologize to Lisa. Lisa, please forgive us. We shouldn't have treated you like that. I just wanted to leave my past behind, so I didn't want to take care of you," Dad pleaded. "Don't even try, Dad. I know Kelly made you leave me. I did nothing to deserve this treatment. You were supposed to be my parents. I was supposed to feel loved by you. You are a poor excuse for a father." "Don't say that, Lisa. Look, I'm trying to be a better person here. You are being unreasonable. Even Kelly would apologize to you, right, Kelly?" Dad looked desperately at Kelly. "Yes, sorry, Lisa. Let's just try this again. Who knows, we can even be best friends," Kelly said, trying to sound sincere. "Don't make me laugh, Kelly. You hated me and wanted me out all these years. You and Dad have treated me like crap. You two abandoned me and left me here." I replied, my voice filled with years of pent-up frustration and hurt. "I'm alive because of Grandpa. You're apologizing because you need Grandpa's assets. I will never forget your abuse, and I will never forgive you." After saying my part, I burst into tears and went to my room. I just couldn't take it anymore. I felt sorry for myself because of everything that I had to go through. I had no feelings left for my dad and Kelly. As far as I was concerned, they were dead to me. From my room, I could hear my grandpa berating them. He was so agitated that his shouting could be heard all over the house. Dad and Kelly were pretty silent. When Grandpa kicked out my dad and Kelly, the house became peaceful again. Grandpa found me in my room and held me as long as I cried. He even ordered my favorite food and made sure I had dinner. Meanwhile, Dad and Kelly kept blowing up my phone. They were calling me names for influencing my grandpa and berating me for not forgiving them. Grandpa saw everything and was even more pissed. As the days passed, Grandpa took some drastic steps. He transferred all his property to my name and appointed my favorite aunt as my legal guardian in case he passed before I turned 18. Hopefully that wouldn't be too soon. Grandpa also took another drastic step. He served Dad and Kelly eviction notices. Since Dad and Kelly were living in a house that he owned, he was able to evict them. After getting their notice, Dad and Kelly kept blowing up my and Grandpa's phone. They even showed up at the house and begged us to talk. "Please don't kick us out, Dad. Where will we go? You know I don't have a very good job, and Kelly doesn't work either. We will become homeless. You should have thought about that before neglecting your daughter. We take care of our family, Aaron, and those who don't have a place in my house. Besides, I'm all set to transfer the house to Lisa, so it's up to her now. Lisa, please don't do this to us. Talk to your grandpa and tell him to reconsider. You don't want to see your father homeless, do you?" Dad pleaded. "You can't just kick out your father, Lisa. How can you be so cruel? You are depriving him of your love and support," Kelly added. "Yes, I am, just like Dad, you kicked me out of your home. I'm going to be just as cruel to you as you were to me. Look, we know we messed up, but this can be solved. I didn't even want to kick you out, it's just that Kelly didn't want a teenager in the house. Why don't you come live with us? That way, we can be a family again, and families don't kick each other out. I don't consider either of you to be my family. You've already terminated your rights as a parent, Dad. You left me to Grandpa because you wanted to concentrate on your new family. Kelly became your priority over me. You did everything Kelly wanted. This is on you and Kelly for being such an evil stepmother. Don't ever contact me again. Only Grandpa is my family." Grandpa then promptly kicked them out again. Since Dad had already terminated his rights to me, he had no legal right to take me home. I guess they forgot that part. Anyway, I knew what my dad and Kelly were like. I had no delusions about their fake love or care for me, so I asked them never to contact me again. Grandpa also supported the decision and told me to stay away. Months passed, and Grandpa said Dad and Kelly were kicked out as usual. I recently turned 17 and celebrated the milestone with my grandfather. We also celebrated his 70th birthday with a grand party. Dad and Kelly were, of course, not invited. Dad still reaches out from time to time while Kelly has been blocked by me. Dad tells me that his marriage is coming to an end because they constantly fight. He also keeps apologizing to me and asking for a second chance. Apparently, he's financially struggling and Kelly's tantrums are mentally affecting him. I simply told him to get therapy and hung up. A few days ago, Dad said that he is divorcing Kelly. Since he doesn't own anything and has very little income, Kelly won't be getting anything substantial out of him. They are starting to get separated, and Kelly throws tantrums about getting a job. Dad will be paying alimony, but still, Kelly will have to work to live by herself. Meanwhile, I'm doing great and looking forward to my graduation and adulthood next year.